guys, Templar here, and today I'll be talking to you guys what actually happened to ancient Sparta.
Sparta!
What the hell was that? Can somebody tell me? You guys hear that, right? Ah, great. Spartans and Athenians fighting against each other again. That's probably what it is. I'm not even gonna try and answer that one. Let me try something. You guys do realize that the Romans are kind of coming from the west, right? Yeah. Take care of them. I guess that solves our Greek problem. Hopefully they don't start coming up again. Let me try something else to be safe. Athena sucks! No. That probably might not work out so well. Ares sucks Athena's ass! Yeah, they're gone. Okay. As I was saying, guys, before I was so rudely interrupted by Spartans and Athenians, I was going to actually tell you guys of what actually happened to ancient Sparta. Now, this actually, I kind of got inspired to talk about this video, about the so-called history of Sparta and its downfall by a known video game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, yes. Now I can hear you guys already. Templar, it's a little make-believe. Well, yes, especially with the armor and the tactics and all that other bullshit. Yeah, I kind of don't like that part. But the true part is, that's what Sparta looked like. If you guys have not gone to the map where Sparta is, I advise you to see what it really would have looked like. Now, when we think of Sparta, we think of something from 300. Don't believe in 300's bullshit. That is actually something you don't want to actually listen to. In truth, Sparta actually was almost kind of like Athens, if you think about it, except with the democracy part. But in truth, what actually happened to Sparta? What happened to its great kingdom? What happened to its temples? What happened to its dynasty? What happened to its great lavish halls? Well, that's actually really simple to actually answer. There were many reasons why Sparta really, and what happened to its destruction. In fact, it kind of lies down to 6 reasons, or sometimes some people will say 5, depending, give or take, should we want to pronounce those or not. But the first, now I can already hear you guys, oh, it's Alexander the Great, that's the first reason, right? Well, no. Alexander the Great may have conquered Sparta, but he did not demolish it. Because when we look at modern day Sparta and compare it to the old one, there's a difference. So yeah, this is the reason why I'm not talking about Alexander the Great. At least he managed to build it up. And no, it wasn't the Persians. Because remember the Odyssey? It takes place after the Persian conquest. So that one's out. But what does happen after the Persian conquest, but technically also sometime after Alexander's death, is actually the Celts. They sacked Rome. Now, this I can already hear you guys. Templar, they sacked Rome, not Sparta. Well, that's actually what I need to tell you guys about. The same guy known as, or same warlord chieftain, if you want to pronounce him as, Brennus, who sacked Rome, later on went further towards the east and sacked 3 Greek kingdoms, in which went is actually kind of really impressive, because these Celts sacked Athens, Sparta, and Delphi. These were the great majestic kingdoms of the ancient world in Greece. In other words, Delphi was a major religious area, and as well, when the Celts sacked it, it's actually stated the destruction was so devastating that it was terrifying. Now as well, the Celts as well met the Spartans and Athenians on well, Thermopylae Pass. But in the process, Brennus tricked them and used the sheep herders area and attacked them from behind, defeating their army. Now, the only reason the Greeks managed to kill Brennus was when they were withdrawing from Greece, and when Brennus took 3 javelins into his body. Now, it is stated that 3 days later he died from his wounds. Now, I'll get to that some other time, though. Now, what actually happened to Sparta when the Celts sacked it? It is stated they sacked many of the great temples, and including tore down the dynasty, killing one of the kings, and actually taking one of the daughters of Sparta. Upon taking her, it is stated she punched a couple of Celts in the face, which she regretted doing. Reason why? Because for each time she had punched them, the Celts had actually took a piece of her skin off. Though, as well, that's probably more of Greek information than Celtic. Because to the Celts, they kind of honored women. And as well, seeing how strong she really was, they kind of honored her as well. But still, this actually does happen sometime after Odyssey. But technically they don't show it, so yeah, that's the problem. But see, this is actually supposed to happen sometime after Rome is sacked, and so on and so on. Now, it is stated that in the process, Sparta is sacked, but not leveled. Though, it is stated that sometime after Sparta has been sacked by the Celts later on, and when the Roman Republic is more, well, fortified, and more of a reinforced military, and after Carthage is defeated, in fact, this actually happened in the Second Punic War, if you guys don't know your history, it is stated that Greece allied itself with Carthage, and in doing so, kinda fucked themselves over. In doing so, they kind of attacked at the wrong time to attack the Republic, and in the process, the Roman Republic had already dealt with Carthage, and guess where they were going? Greece. Now, in doing so, the Roman Republic sacked the entire kingdom of Greece. But in doing so, they didn't just sack it, they destroyed it. Most of the ancient known world was destroyed. And, well, Greece was technically seen as, well, a hardcore military group. But now I can hear you guys already. But wait, Templar, what actually happened to Sparta? Well, here's the reason what happened to Sparta. It was leveled to the ground. Just like Carthage, but worse. Reason? It was the strongest Greek kingdom. Reason why? This is actually anything in the ancient world, even in the modern day world, if you destroy your most strongest opponent, and level their city, for example, then technically you're known as a badass, and you're not supposed to be messed with. Metaphorically speaking, but you get the point. In fact, this is actually what made the ancient Greek world surrender immediately to the advancing Romans. In other words, many Greeks did not want to stand out of the way. In fact, you could see why Pompey's dynasty kind of stayed out of this little event in the first place, seeing as though this could actually happen to Egypt. I don't want this to happen to Egypt. So in doing so, they kind of stayed out of it. But now I can hear you guys already. Templar, what happened to Sparta? Well, here's the thing. As I stated, it was destroyed. And since it was known as the most strongest kingdom in the Greek world, but only matched by Athens. That's the thing, though. Since the Roman Republic was a democracy, it can't attack Athens, since it's the homeland of democracy. So, well, they had to look the other way and attack Sparta. And in doing so, they destroyed everything. Destroyed the temples, destroyed and I mean everything, down to the last blade of grass. Now, in Carthage, they rubbed salt in the ground. To Sparta, on the other hand, what they did is probably the most devastating. They scorched the earth, turning it black as the devilish sun. As though it says that the sun itself had scorched this earth. Now, it is stated by a Roman poet and Greek poets at the time who stated that when Sparta was burned, the entire fields were laid with ash, and that the buildings were black as darkness of night. Not even sun can gleam of the beauty of Sparta. Even its great crimson scars was destroyed by the fires, and all of Rome laughed and mocked it so. Now, Sparta was like this for a long time, and it is stated that when this has happened to Sparta, many Spartans were, well, forced to travel somewhere else. It's kind of like what we might see later on with the Jewish revolt. Many Jews were forced to leave, well, Israel. Well, that's kind of the same with Sparta, because they were forced to leave other regions. And pretty much most of them left to either Athens or forced to go to Rome. Or so we're told in history books. Now, it kept on going like this all the way up to the Caesars and pretty much up until after Nero's death. After Nero died, pretty much a Roman emperor, by the time, sometime after Nero's death, like around 2 or 3 emperors, so give or take, pretty much it stated that Sparta was brought back and rebuilt. Only in the eyes of Rome. Reason? This Roman emperor at the time stated the following by a artist or Roman, Greek, Spartan artist at the time, who stated the following, that it actually stated: upon its greatness of being rebuilt, Rome's eyes made it stronger evermore, and it will always endure. Now, that actually makes sense. Because if we think of it now today, we think, oh, that means nothing. But in the ancient world, if you were to destroy, like, if your predecessor destroyed something, and you brought it back, you technically made your own kingdom even stronger, making people believe that you are a greater kingdom than the one before. In other words, Sparta is now stronger with Rome. And which did make sense back then. Problem is, though, this wasn't the last. As we all know, Sparta doesn't look the same way it does today. Now, as well, many of the ancient ruins are still in Sparta. I had to give you guys that information. Problem is, though, what actually happened when Rome fell? Well, Sparta allied with the Byzantine Empire, or the Eastern Roman Empire, whichever you want to pronounce it as, and it's stated upon its staying in the Byzantine Empire, it stayed that way pretty much. Though it is stated that during the time of the Crusades, some Crusaders got a little drunk and accidentally went into a big brawl, or so we're told by the Byzantines. We don't really know whether or not it was a brawl or not. We still don't know it from good history, because most of the history is left out. It is stated, though, that most of Western Greece burned. In the process, I don't even know how most of Western Greece got burned if these people were just in a massive brawl from being drunk. It's weird, I know. This is history for you guys. It's complicated. But we do know that when this actually happened, Sparta did burn. And in the process, and as well, there is a thick layer of ash still being found there, near the ruins. But that didn't cause any problem, since technically Sparta endured and rebuilt. That was until the Byzantine Empire fell to the Ottomans. And in doing so, the Ottomans heard of the ancient greatness of Sparta, and the whole so-called story that Sparta was the greatness of the ancient world that destroyed Persia, that made the Ottomans want to beat the Spartans. In doing so, they thought, well, if we can beat those that beat Persia, we can be looked as the greater kingdom. And in doing so, they sacked and destroyed and leveled ancient Sparta again. Yes, again, and never rebuilt it. Literally, they actually sacked it to the very ground, and as well tore down every temple, or church at this point, and pretty much, well, you get the point. It did not end so well for many Spartans, and as well were forced to leave the empire. Now, of where they went, we still do not know, but many say they went to Sicily, some say. That's what we're told. But as well, Athens did not endure, only endured a slight little bit. Reason why is technically because of the Temple of Athena. It stood there for so long, and if Rome could have actually seen its greatness, the Ottomans saw that as well, only turning it into a type of form of a mosque at one point, until it was retaken later on in history by the time of World War One. But, as I stated, this is about Sparta. But now, what actually happened to ancient Sparta? Well, most of the ruins still lie there. That was until the Greek Civil Wars. Now I can hear you guys already. Templar Greek Civil Wars, this is about the ancient Bronze Age? Nope, this is about the one against communism. And yes, the Greek Civil War was either between democracy or communism. And, well, we all know who won. Democracy. But in doing so, Sparta was accidentally bombed and artillery. Well, technically more like shelled by artillery, but you get the point. Mainly because it was mistaken for a rebel arsenal area. And in doing so, this did not end so well. Many Spartans lost their homes and as well left again, until they returned after, well, the Civil War had ended, only to find the ancient kingdoms of Sparta destroyed. Many Spartans were saddened by this loss, and still to this day, there are a lot of ruins that are still undiscovered. Just think about that. There are hundreds of these ancient kingdoms of Sparta, of ancient kings, tombs and such, that have never been found. And to this day, we can never find them. Those will play the game Odyssey, guys, so that way you can see ancient Sparta for what it was, and travel to modern day Sparta to see what it is today. That way you guys get to see of the entire beauty of this ancient world, even still today. Anyways, guys, this has been Templar. Hope you liked this video. If you guys want me to talk about any kind of kingdoms that were destroyed in history, let me know that in the comments below and I will get right to them. Anyways, guys, this has been Templar. Have a good day.